What's going on, guys? It's your boy Coach Kane. Today we are going to be talking about high value. Now look, full disclaimer, right? I'm not going to tell you that being a high value man is somebody who has all the money in the world, who has all these bitches, right? Who is known for being famous, all that stuff. That is not what necessarily makes you a high value man, in my opinion. You can be high value and still not have much. You know what I mean? You can be the average Joe financially, average Joe with women, and you don't have to be famous, right? Being a high value man starts with here. It starts with your mind. It starts with your soul. It's your character on the inside and the character that you display to other people around you. Also with your hard work, your dedication, your resiliency, the way you handle conflict, all that put together equals a high value man. Let's get that straight before I get into the video. But there are physicals, there are things that you can add to that to make you even more of a high value man. Basically leveling up your character. Okay. You got to look at yourself as like a video game character that you are leveling up daily. And that's really just the start of being high value. Okay. You can't be high value and sit on the couch all day, smoke weed, go out and drink, and just go to your job, come back home, and do the same shit over again. It's not really a high value man. You're not really contributing to society or being any use to society. All right, let's get started. We're going to be talking about looks, money, game, and status. Let's get started with the looks, guys. First things first, you have to look the part, right? You want to have a decent physique. How do you get a decent physique? You go to the gym. When you go to the gym, you need to find a certain workout routine that works good for you. And you need to make sure you're following the right steps in the gym to where you are building actual muscle and burning fat at the same time, right? What does that look like? It looks like progressive overload and cardio, right? It's really actually not that complicated. It's really easy. Hit the gym. I recommend going with a homeboy. If you haven't been to the gym or haven't been to the gym in a while, go with a homeboy who does go to the gym. He'll show you the workouts. He'll show you his routine, and you can kind of bounce off of that routine, his routine, and kind of make your own routine out of it, right? And then you got to keep consistency with it. You can't just go the one time and then not go. And let's be honest, the first 2 weeks is going to be kind of the hardest. But once you get past those first 2 weeks and you get over the surroundings in the gym, the people in the gym, like people thinking people are looking at you or whatever, and you get over the soreness, it becomes really easy and it becomes really simple to make it part of your new routine. You know what I'm saying? Second is diet. You are what you eat. I've stated this in previous videos, and I'll probably say it more in future videos. You know, you want to drill it in your head. You are what you eat. You eat like shit. You eat chips, hot dogs, hamburgers, which aren't necessarily, hamburgers aren't the worst. Pizza, you just eat a bunch of that shit. Fast food, you just become a slop, like mentally. Like you put this shit into your body, it goes to your stomach, and your stomach kind of talks to your brain, and it kind of just turns you into this lazy person, this lazy man who really doesn't have any drive, desire, or motivation to do anything, right? So you want to eat healthy, eat your proteins, eat a lot of proteins, vegetables, go easy on the carbs, not too many pastas, not too much bread, not too much. You know what I'm saying? You can have enough, but you just don't want to overdo it in your body to the point where you can start to see the fat sticking to you. And if you already are, you know, fat type of dude and you're kind of built like a pear, bro, just cut out the carbs completely. Just straight meat and vegetables, bro, and hit that fucking treadmill at like a 15 incline on a 3 for a good 30 minutes a day, bro, and you will start to see the results in your physique. Hygiene, guys, hygiene is very important, bro. Number one on the list for hygiene is brushing your goddamn teeth. Nobody wants to smell that shit, bro. You could look as attractive as you want to look, but when you're talking to somebody and your breath stinks, it smells like ass, bro, it really takes away from what you're saying. It's hard for people to focus on what you're saying because this shit smells so fucking bad. Like it's distracting. Like you can't. Some people's breath can get fucking terrifying, bro. You know, people look at you different, bro. People are gonna talk about you. This is just straight fact. Regardless of what you think people are in society, and you think everybody's a good fucking person, they're not. They're gonna talk about you. They're gonna gossip, men and women. They're just gonna do that shit, bro. Right? And you're gonna be known as the person with some stank breath. Next on the hygiene list, I would recommend keeping a decent trim on your face. You know, you don't want to have the hairs going into your mouth, on your mustache. You don't want the beard to be too, all over the fucking place. You know, you don't want, I don't have like neck hair out from my beard or whatever. It doesn't really connect too much like I wanted to. But, you know, some dudes, they let the hairs get all the way down here and they let the fucking chest grow. It kind of almost connects in a way. It's fucking nasty, bro. Groomed. Keep yourself groomed. Get you a razor. They got a good one on Amazon that I use. It's gold. You'll know when you see it. It's gold. It's rechargeable. Doesn't take batteries, so you gotta worry about any batteries. It comes with two type of clippers, a little edgier one and like hair clippers or whatever. Keep yourself groomed, guys. That shit's only like $30 to $50, I think, on Amazon. You can buy it yourself. It's not gonna break your pockets or whatever, and you're not gonna end up spending money at a barber to trim your face or whatever. You can do this shit your damn self. Now, I recommend that you do this at least once a week. Trim your face up. Do your own edge up. Trim the extra hairs. Look decent. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to look like a slob. You don't want to look homeless, right? The effects of looking that way tells people that you kind of lack self-respect for yourself when you don't care for your appearance and your hygiene. You know what I'm saying? Your breath stinks, armpits stink, you're not wearing deodorant, your face is all over the fucking place, bro. $30, $40 on Amazon. Buy you some trimmers, bro. Trim yourself up. Look good. You know what I mean? You can experiment with it too. You don't have to do it a certain way, or you can do it one way one day, you can do it another way the next day, and then you kind of find what works for you as far as like how you want to do your face, right? And along with your face, you know, some dudes do have a beard because they don't have the jawline because of their body fat percentage, right? So you can work your way around that. You can either keep the beard, keep it trimmed, or once you hit the gym enough and your body fat percentage starts to go down, the fat in your face starts to go down, right? And then you just kind of work with different things. And next thing you know, some shit it's working. It's all coming together. Okay, last but not least, your apparel. Guys, you don't want to pull up to a formal function in Jordans or Air Forces, right? You don't want to pull up to a Michelin star restaurant wearing some Jordans. Okay, look, this is very common in my community. You know what I'm saying? Dudes pulling up in Jordans, Air Force, or whatever. I could go into the whole thing about why certain people do this, but I'm not. I'm just saying that you get treated a little different when you dress a certain way. You know what I mean? The service that you receive when you're dressed nicely, you know, like a nice watch on, a nice little collar shirt, or a nice fitted shirt, and maybe some slacks, some jeans with some, like, I don't know, some Stacey Adams, some loafers, some leather loafers, something like that, with a little jewelry on. You just get respected a little bit more. You know what I mean? You can ask for certain things and get a healthy, respectful response, and you just get treated different overall. That's just how the world works, bro. Like I say in every video, I'm not teaching you any clown world stuff. I'm teaching you real world things. Okay? It's people look at you and how you dress before you even speak, and they judge you kind of based off that. You know what I mean? It's like the first 2 to 10 seconds, people judge you based off how you look, right? That's why looks are so important. You want to dress for the occasion. You don't want to dress like a slop every fucking day. Even when you go to your basic ass job, right? I see people pull up in like pajama shorts or pajama pants or whatever, just walking around, you know, trying to have this authoritative attitude, you know what I mean? And got pajamas on, bro. You know, like you can't. It just doesn't fit. You know, it tells people that you're lazy and you lack the self-respect, and that's why looks is so important. So with all that being said, not everybody that I'm talking to in my videos is going to have that body, that triangle body or physique, you know, from the shoulders to hip ratio, but you need to work with what you got, right? If you are built like a pear, don't wear shirts that are too tight. Don't wear fucking skinny jeans, right? You don't have the definition of your body to be wearing that. And regardless of what society tells you about just being confident in your own skin, yes, there is some truth to that. But at the same time, if you are looking for opportunity, people are going to judge you based on how you look and how you dress, how you present yourself, right? So if you aren't built like this just yet, if your shoulder to hip ratio is not where it needs to be just yet, wear clothes that are maybe a size up. That takes away from the definition of the belly, the definition of the rolls and the hips, you know what I mean? Or something slightly larger, but you can still be nice with it. You can still be smooth with it. You can still be fucking suave, dog. All right? You don't have to look like a slop all the time. You can hide what is already there, right? Because if you're just starting out, it's not, you know what I'm saying? You can't go to the gym one day and then put on, you know, a fucking shirt like mine and then expect it to fit the way you would think it would fit in your mind or how it fits on other people, right? So be as attractive as you can be with what you have. You understand what I'm saying, guys? All right, next topic, money. Now, I'm not one to talk. I'm not a millionaire just yet. I will be one day. But a lot of other content creators, red pill content creators, when they talk about looks, money, game, and status, they swore on everything that if you don't have $1 million, you're not a high value man. Like I said in the beginning of the video, it doesn't have a lot to do with money, but it kind of does. You know what I'm saying? You want to have, let's start with the job. You want to have a decent job that pays enough for your place of living, food, Wi-Fi, electricity. You want to have enough money to pay for all that on your own. Well, you know, whatever it is, plus some. You know, say you even want to have enough money to where you can pay all that, and then the plus some, you still have enough to, I don't know, take a girl out on a date twice a month. You know what I mean? And then aside from that, having your regular job, you want to have a side hustle. Every dude has time in their life to have some type of side hustle, regardless of what they got going on. No fucking excuses. The average job is 40 hours a week. I'm not calculating how many hours are in an actual week, but there is enough time for the side hustle. There's still the weekend. There's still the days off. You know what I mean? If you're working towards being a high value man, you need to prioritize your days off to be something better financially. Okay. Aside from side hustles, you also have business, right? This side hustle or multiple side hustles, whatever you have, need to be something that are working towards an actual business to where you can leave your job, right? I'm exhibit A right now. I'm doing the YouTube thing. I treat it as a business and the whole coaching thing that I do. And eventually, the small business that I have right now will generate enough income for me to leave my job and live comfortably at the same time and then grow it more and more to where I'm living past comfortable. You know what I mean? You need to do something. And when it comes to business, you know, a lot of dudes, when they get together, they do talk about certain ideas and certain things. The number one thing dudes talk about is, oh, should we start a podcast? But then nobody ever starts the podcast, right? Take it in your own hands to whatever ideas you guys are talking about and try it. Just fucking try. That's all it takes. Just try and see if it works. Because if you don't try, you'll never know if it works. You'll never know if it'll hit, right? I've been tried construction stuff, mechanic stuff, painting, ranch stuff. I've tried a lot of different shit, right? And none of it's never really landed for the long term when I was trying it. So you kind of build this up in your mind from doing it so many times that you know when to quit, right? When you're putting in so much time and not getting anything back in that long term, in that period. I'm not talking about doing this shit for a day and then be like, oh shit, it doesn't work. I didn't get the views. I didn't get any more customers. I didn't get any more clients, right? No, you got to keep going and try it. And then if it doesn't work, then you know when to back out, right? And then you can try something else, some other idea that you have that for a business idea that can eventually pop off into something greater, right? Spending, guys. The money that you have, you do not need to live like you are a millionaire just yet, right? And a lot of people in my community right? This happened just the other day with my kid's mom. She sent me a picture of my daughter's shoes. For one, they were white. For one, they were a little overpriced for her age because she's going to hit a growth spurt. But she claimed that she needed to look good for school. And I understand looking good for school, but the price of the shoes wasn't worth what she was going to do. You know, she's a kid. She's going to have recess. Like I said, they're white. Uh, Honestly, the amount of money I would be paying for the shoes versus what I could actually do for them physically and like mentally and create like kind of memories. Like I could take them to trampoline park twice with that money and they'll have way more fun, way more memories than a fucking pair of shoes. You know what I'm saying? That kind of makes sense. So be responsible with your spending, right? You don't have to live like you got it. All right. That's kind of ties into the high value thing, right? You don't have to live like you got it. If you live like you got it and you don't have it, bro, you're not being a genuine man to yourself and the people around you, right? You're putting on like a facade. This person is not you. Yes, you want to build that mentality of being that guy, but when it comes to money and you don't have it, you can put your own life at risk potentially. Your rent money, your electric bill, your Wi-Fi. If you overspend, bro, you might fall back on one of them bills, right? And then you gotta figure something out. But if you do plan on overspending, bro, side hustle, simple, easy, right? If you have a regular job and you want to live a certain way, buy certain things, you need to generate the amount of money for those things. You don't want to just fuck yourself by overspending, right? Live within your fucking means. Does that make sense? Guys, on to the next one. Game, right? This is it's a tough one because I'm not really in this to be coaching game. I can and I probably eventually will make a video or two about it, but it's not really my thing and my place to do because game always works better when you choose the girl that chooses you, right? And at that point, you don't really need too much game. You just become comfortable, guys. Trust me. When a girl likes you, right? It is way easier to make that step into spitting game or, putting game down to where, you're kind of making progress towards the next move with her. You understand what I'm saying? I don't think you should waste time on women that don't like you to begin with, right? There's no point at all to chase a woman over your purpose and over the things that you're trying to do. Chase a woman that does not like you in sacrifice of your purpose. That makes no sense to me, right? Eventually, once you follow this guide of looks, money, status, or whatever, say you just become an expert in looks, right? Your dream girl, your 10 out of 10 girl will eventually come your way. You know what I'm saying? I made a video about this previously, right? About energy. The energy will attract. The energy will come to you. But with that being said, I'm not saying sit around and do these things and just wait for the opportunity to come. No, you still, as a man, have to approach. You have to make your first approach. Okay? Do not live with this mindset that she's going to come to you. Yes, once you get your looks up, once you get your money up, once you get your status up, yes, there will be more opportunities for that to happen. But if this isn't all there, you still have to do the approaching, right? If you find her attractive and you want to take her out on a date or you just want to lay pipe, but you have to do the approach, right? Aside from approaching, flirting. Guys, when you are conversating with a girl, you do not want to make the conversation strictly just about your intentions. Okay? Most of the time you will fail. So, flirting, with that being said, this is just me coaching the game to you, right? You only get 2 to 3 flirty sentences within the first 2 interactions. Okay? So if you see her at a gym, well, the gym's a whole different story, right? Say you see her at work maybe, or you see her in a store. The first time you get 1 to 2 flirty sentences with her, right? Got to make her laugh, got to make her smile. You got to make her feel some type of comfort, right? Second interaction, that's when you can there's a little more leeway for you to take those what am I trying to say? To make those flirty comments. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to flirt too much. You don't want to seem too needy and you don't want to seem too desperate. Okay. She has to know it's part of the game. Guys, it's part of the game. And write this down, keep it in a note, right? She has to know that she is not your only option, right? She doesn't want to feel like you're approaching her, you're flirting with her, and you're trying to get in her pants because you can't get in anybody else's pants. You see what I'm saying? Next thing on the list of game, disqualify. Guys, and this goes really just ties to what I just said. You need to disqualify her from being with you. Okay. And this comes with teasing, right? You can even tease her within the flirting and say, I don't know, because 9 times out of 10, she's going to bring up zodiac signs. You can say, oh, no, our signs aren't compatible. We'll never work out, right? So there's some shit like that. Or you ask her how tall she is or whatever. Oh, no, you're a little too short for me. You know, I usually go for girls that are this side, blah, blah, blah. You could even bring up stuff like age, you know, say you're 25, she's 20, which I mean, isn't a bad age gap at all. You can even see, like, oh, no, you're too young for me. This will never work out or whatever. You want to disqualify her in a playful way, teasing way. It's kind of, bro, it's kind of like a manipulation thing, right? Because in her head, she's going to be like, no, and there's no way he just said that. There's no way he just disqualified me, right? Because a woman's ego is going to be up here because little do you guys know, some of you guys don't know, women are red pilled from the time they are born, right? They're approached by men who want them from the time they're fucking, sometimes 15, all right? From really right after high school, bro. Fresh out of high school. Dudes are in the DMs, bro. Dudes are out here who can't wait for them to be 18, bro. And they're coming hard. Okay? So she's used to guys risking it all, okay? Acting like they don't have any options, right? So disqualify her immediately. I say within the first interaction. This is just the game I'm teaching, right? I know some other guys. I don't know. I could, if you want to message me on Instagram at the Coach Kane, you can message me on Instagram. I know some guys who can definitely teach you like some real solid pickup game or whatever. I'm just not teaching it right now at the moment, right? It's not what the coaching is about. Next thing is seduction, guys. A lot of y'all, I used to be this guy too, bro. I had no type of seduction. I was a corny fuck, bro. Right? I didn't make good eye contact. I was jittery. I wasn't calm. Talked too fucking much. Right? Seduction starts with the voice. Starts with the calmness, and it starts with the deepness of your voice. Right? This all ties into that first interaction. Calmness, deepness of your voice, and non-reactive. Okay, this does something to a woman, right? It's kind of like an immediate seduction, an immediate turn on, when she sees that you're calm, that you're approaching her calmly, and it's kind of like skillfully, like you're an experienced dude, right? No girl wants an inexperienced dude. Whatever, regardless, whoever told you this, that, no woman wants an inexperienced dude. Trust me, bro. Doing this will kind of create that initial seduction. Make sure you have that strong eye contact, deepen your voice, slow down your voice, and talk in a slow, bro, just be calm with it. Just be cool. Just be kind of, in a way, just kind of be nonchalant with it, bro. It's not that complicated, in my opinion, but at the same time, you do have to kind of make these approaches, I want to say once a week, to even get comfortable with doing that, and get comfortable to do that with a woman to begin with. Another part of seduction I can teach you guys, a part of the game segment of this video, is the triangle method, right? I'm not talking about your body this time, guys. I'm not talking about the shoulder to hip ratio. I'm talking about eye contact and lips, okay? When you're talking to her, calm, slow, and in a deep voice, and you're kind of really engaging in the conversation, do not break eye contact, okay? You want, not in a creepy way. You don't want to stare down in a creepy death stare, right? You need to like fucking smile or something. Crack a fucking joke. You know what I mean? Don't be a fucking robot during this interaction, okay? But you need to go back and forth between this eye. I do three 3 seconds, and then 3 seconds, and then 3 seconds on the mouth. Okay, maybe even like shorter. 3 seconds while looking at somebody might be a little long, but it's a part of the seduction method, right? Trust me, this method never fails. And you can usually tell if she's into you or not just by doing this, right? You don't even have to say much, but her whole demeanor will change once she catches on to how you're looking, how you're talking, and the deepness of your voice, bro. This shit fucking works. This shit works. This shit is easy, dog. Easy, bro. But you cannot like fold on the eye contact. Okay. Once you start kind of looking in different directions and you kind of go off course, bro, you'll kind of get in your own head and forget about what you're doing, and then you kind of start forgetting about what you're gonna say next or whatever. Bro, just stay calm. Stick to this method right here, bro, and more like you'll get a number or the Instagram or a date, meetup, whatever. You know what I mean? Just follow this method. That's some game from your boy, Coach Kane. The triangle method. You guys should try it. If you have tried it already, let me know in the comments how it worked out for you, whatever. The next thing we're going to talk about is status, okay? So a lot of other content creators will tell you that status is you need to be the guy emptying out his bank account, throwing all the money on the strippers, or buying all the bottles in the club, having all these women around you, right? Kind of creating this competition anxiety for women or whatever. But no, okay? That's just kind of slimy in a way. It's not genuine, right? Your status needs to come from a genuine place. And I wrote this down here. Status is being known for your character and who you know, right? Being known for your character and who you know exactly, right? So your character has to be a good character. People know you for how you are, how you kind of do things for other people, and the people you know. And I'm not talking about wealthy drug dealers, bro. No, I'm talking about you need to know other genuine, kind-hearted, good character men, right? And just people in general. Okay, that's kind of the status, right? And people need to know you for that. You know what I'm saying? You need to be able to like walk in the gym, you know, with whether it's a girl or your homie, and at least one or two people say what's up to you. Okay, if they just say what's up to you, it kind of signals to the person that you're with. Okay, people know this guy, right? Like he's not like a fucking weirdo. Like they know this guy, right? You want to take that status to your city, okay? Like you want to be known in your city, okay? Meaning like you go to a restaurant, you're known to tip well, you kind of make conversation with the waiter and waitress or whatever. Small talk, small banter, whatever. They know you're cool, you know they're cool. So that way, like when you pull up to these places around your city locally and people know you and then other people see that they know you, they kind of get curious on who you are exactly. Why do so many people know this guy? So many people know this guy. He must be here somewhere. He must be at the top somewhere, right? And you do not need money for this. All right. All you need is like conversation skills and just being cool and being genuine. That's all you need. Okay. Okay. Real quick, I'm gonna give you guys some real quick Coach Kane game when it comes to the area of status in the high value video. Guys, you need to go and find a restaurant that, if you live within your means, that you can go to once or twice a month. Okay. I'm not talking about a restaurant chain. I'm talking about like a family owned restaurant business. Maybe there's about 10 of them in your state. Okay. You need to go to this restaurant twice a month, right? You need to get cool with the owner or manager of that restaurant, with the waiters, the waitresses of that restaurant, right? You need to build some small talk, do some banter or whatever, respectful, laugh, all that type of, bullshit, right? Get cool with these people, right? Order the same thing that you generally like from that restaurant, right? I like Italian. So when I go to a restaurant, or the restaurant that I go to, right, I get the eggplant parmesan or whatever, right? So you guys need to find something that you actually genuinely like and order this every time you go, right? You need to do this over a course of 3 months, okay? Trust me, this method never fails for status, right? So that way, when you take a girl to that restaurant, when you land that date, okay, and you bring her in, and she sees the people know you, okay, that they already know your order, they already know your name, okay, you dapping up the owner of the restaurant, You know what I'm saying? It kind of signals to her that you are a man of status. You know what I'm saying? It signals to her that she wants to know who you really are. Okay. She wants to know what they know. She wants to know why this man knows everybody. Why does everybody know him? Guys, this is status. And that's just like a quick game from your boy Coach Kane, real quick. You know what I mean? Do this, guys. This shit never fucking fails. Trust me, bro. I used to do this shit all the fucking time. All right, that's it for the video, guys. Today we covered looks, money, game, and status. The triangle method, you guys don't forget. And also don't forget what I said at the beginning of the video about being high value man doesn't necessarily mean you are the richest, doesn't necessarily mean you have all the bitches, and it doesn't necessarily mean that you are famous, okay? It starts within the soul, it starts within the mind. Believe that you are that guy, do the things that lead to being that guy of high value, of having enough money, decent money, having good game, having that status, going around and talking to people, right? And then things just kind of start to build up from there, okay? The more consistent you are with these things, the higher your value will be, right? As long as you're doing it in just a genuine, like honest way, you know what I mean? I'm not saying there is an honest way to the top, but there is an honest way to being high value. Fair enough? All right. It's your boy, Coach Kane, and we out of here. Hope you guys liked the video. Like, comment, subscribe, share with a homie who needs to hear this, because I doubt that anybody is telling him these things.